Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you gave yourself 50 uninterrupted minutes just for you, not for your kids, not for your job, not for your social media feed, just you? No excuses, no distractions, no guilt, because here's the truth. 50 minutes can literally change your next 50 years. That sounds dramatic, right? But it's not. It's neuroscience. It's habit building. It's truth. We think transformation has to be huge. We think it has to come with a new year, a new job, a breakup, a breakdown, or some grand plan. But I'm telling you, change starts small. Change starts in the quiet. Change starts in that moment where you finally stop running from your potential and say, let me show up for myself right now. This is about 50 minutes of brutal honesty, 50 minutes where you stop lying to yourself. 50 minutes where you sit down, phone off, distractions gone, and you get real about what you want, what's holding you back, and what it's going to take to get there. You want to change your life. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need 50 minutes of clarity. Sit, write, reflect, move, read, breathe, plan, cry, pray, scream. I don't care what you do. Just do ID for you. Give yourself the space that life keeps stealing. Because if you don't carve out time for growth, life will keep burying you in distractions, responsibilities, and regrets. Let me say this loud and clear. You are not stuck. You are distracted. There is a difference. Most people don't need a new life. They need to start using the one they've got, intentionally, consistently, powerfully. Now, here's where it gets good. Your brain will fight you on this. It'll say, what's the point? It'll say, this isn't going to fix anything. It'll beg you to check your phone, your email, your feed, but this is where you win. This is where you train your brain to do something different, to choose discipline over dopamine, to choose clarity over chaos. You want to know what separates people who live fulfilled lives from those who don't. It's not talent. It's not money. It's not luck. It's the habit of showing up for themselves when no one is watching. Let me give you a challenge. Set a timer for 50 minutes. Right after this speech, give yourself that space. No interruptions, no multitasking, and ask yourself these 3 questions. What am I avoiding right now that's costing me my future? What does the next version of me need from me today? What would I be doing differently if I believed it was possible? You answer those honestly, and your life will begin to shift, not tomorrow, not next year. Now, because the truth is, your next 50 years are not determined by fate. They're determined by what you do in moments like these. You can keep choosing distraction, and you'll get more regret. Or you can choose 50 minutes of radical self-respect and finally take control. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand you motivation on a silver platter. You want it, create it. You want time, make it. You want better, be better. So here's my final thought. The next 50 years of your life are standing on the other side of 50 focused, fierce, fearless minutes. Will you take them? Because I promise you this. If you're brave enough to stop the world for just 50 minutes, you'll find out you've had the power all along to build a life so meaningful, so aligned, so you. It was worth every second. You've probably spent years waiting for the perfect time, for the right energy, for the stars to align, for the world to settle down just enough for you to finally focus on yourself. But what if I told you that your future, the one you crave, dream about, fantasize over, isn't waiting for the right time? It's waiting on you, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when you feel confident. Right now, all it's asking from you is 50 minutes of pure, raw commitment to show up for your own damn life. 50 minutes might not sound like much. That's less than a Netflix episode and a scroll through your favorite social feed. But in those 50 minutes, when you decide you've had enough of living on autopilot, you shift your trajectory. You say to the world, I'm done waiting for someone to give me permission, because that permission, you've always had it. You just forgot you were the one holding the pen. We've been trained to think change has to be loud, big, public, viral, but real change, it happens in silence. It happens when you sit with yourself and face the truth you've been running from. The truth that you're capable of more. The truth that playing small isn't serving anyone. The truth that if you keep waiting to feel ready, you'll wait your entire life and nothing will ever change. I want you to look at your life for a second. Look at the patterns, the people, the habits, the chaos. Is this it? Is this the life you're proud of? Because if it's not, then it's time. It's time to carve out those 50 minutes, to stop everything, to shut the door, silence the phone, and breathe into that space where you finally say, asterisk, I'm ready to stop surviving and start building. Asterisk, that 50 minutes could be a journal entry that turns into a life plan. It could be 50 minutes of planning out how to leave the job you hate. It could be 50 minutes of identifying where you've been sabotaging your progress. It could be 50 minutes of movement, of meditation, of listening to your gut instead of the noise around you. Don't underestimate what can be born from a decision, because that's what this is, asterisk, a decision. Asterisk, we are so good at breaking promises to ourselves. We wouldn't miss a meeting with our boss. We wouldn't cancel on a friend without guilt. But we cancel on ourselves every single day. That has to stop, because the truth is, your next 50 years are being shaped by the decisions you're making today. And if you give yourself just 50 minutes of real, intentional space, you can plant a seed that grows into a lifetime of fulfillment, of purpose, of self-respect. That 50 minutes can be the wake-up call you've been waiting for, the moment where you realize no one is going to come knock on your door and change your life for you. No one is going to magically make you feel confident or worthy or unstoppable. That comes from showing up when it's uncomfortable. When you'd rather numb out, when the easy path is calling and you still choose the one that leads to growth. Let's be honest, 50 minutes isn't going to fix everything, but it doesn't need to. It just needs to interrupt the cycle you've been stuck in long enough for you to say, asterisk, this isn't working anymore. Asterisk, that's the power of presence. That's the power of choosing yourself in a world that keeps demanding you pour everything into everyone else. You have dreams sitting in the back of your mind that have been collecting dust for years. You have a vision of your life that scares you because it's so different from where you are. You have a version of yourself that you're dying to meet, but you're too busy avoiding discomfort to chase her. That woman, she's not waiting at the finish line. She's waiting in the decisions. In the 50 minutes you give yourself today that prove to your brain, your soul, and your future that you're done waiting. This is your shot. Not some cheesy motivational line, not a fake it till you make it speech, a real, grounded call to action. Give yourself the gift of 50 minutes, no agenda, no pressure to be perfect. Just you in the moment, facing yourself and asking, asterisk, what do I need to start doing differently right now? Asterisk, because 50 minutes today can stop 50 years of regret. It can rewrite a story you thought was over. It can begin a chapter that no one sees coming, the kind of chapter that makes people stop and say, how did you change your life like that? And the answer will be simple, asterisk, I gave myself 50 minutes when everyone else kept making excuses. Asterisk, so no more excuses. No more maybe tomorrow, no more letting life happen to you. You've got this window, this one chance to say yes to you. Take it, lock in, because when you choose yourself with that kind of intensity, even just for 50 minutes, you change the next 50 years of your life. And that, my friend, is the real power, not in motivation, not in hype, but in the quiet decision to take 1 hour of your day and claim the rest of your life. You keep thinking you need a completely different life to feel better, to feel alive again, to finally feel like asterisk, you asterisk. But that's not true. You don't need a new relationship. You don't need a new job or a new body or to move to a different city. You need something far more accessible and far more powerful. Asterisk, asterisk, you need discipline. Asterisk, asterisk, it's not exciting. It doesn't get a standing ovation. Discipline isn't sexy. It doesn't give you instant gratification or hit you with a dopamine rush like a like, a follow, or a scroll. But here's the truth that most people won't tell you. Asterisk discipline is the only bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Asterisk, we've been sold this lie that motivation is the key to success. That if you just wait for the right podcast, the right quote, or the right sunrise, you'll suddenly feel inspired enough to change your life. You won't. That's not how transformation works. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a choice, and that choice doesn't care how you feel today. Let me be blunt. There are days you're not going to feel like it. You won't feel like getting up early. You won't feel like saying no to the distractions. You won't feel like following through on the promises you made to yourself when you were in a better mood. And that's exactly when discipline becomes your greatest weapon. Because it says, I don't care how I feel. I care about who I'm becoming. Discipline is the quiet, daily act of self-respect. It's you showing your brain that you can be trusted. It's you proving to yourself that you don't back down just because the path is uncomfortable. Think about how often you bail on your own progress just because it feels hard. And ask yourself, what would change if I just pushed through for 5 more minutes? Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They give up when it gets boring or tedious or repetitive. That's the moment when discipline is supposed to kick in. Not because it feels good, but because it works. And if you want results, if you want to stop waking up with regret, then you've got to stop chasing motivation and start installing discipline like your life depends on it. Because it does. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to take the same life you're living right now and show up differently for it. Discipline does that. It turns you into someone who doesn't need the stars to align. It turns you into someone who doesn't make excuses. It turns you into someone who finishes what they start. And once you become that asterisk person, the results take care of themselves. Start small, one decision at a time. One alarm you don't snooze. One task you finish even though no one's watching. One workout you show up for because you said you would. That's where it begins. And then, slowly, you start building trust with yourself. Because let's be real, most of the pain in your life doesn't come from failure. It comes from knowing you've been breaking promises to yourself for years. There is no perfect day to start, no ideal moment. There is only now, this moment, and the decision to do the thing, even if you're tired, scared, unmotivated, or uncertain. That is where greatness is born, not in the highlight reels, but in the grind. In the repetition, in the mundane. If you only show up when you feel like it, you will lose, because your feelings will lie to you. Your brain wants comfort, not growth. It wants ease, not evolution. But discipline doesn't ask for your comfort. It demands your commitment, and if you answer that call, even when every part of you wants to check out, you start rewriting the story. You start realizing that your power isn't in how you feel. It's in what you do with how you feel . You can be tired and still move. You can be scared and still speak up. You can be overwhelmed and still take the next right step. That's what discipline does. It teaches you how to keep going, no matter what. Look at the people you admire, the ones who seem unstoppable. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not even motivation. It's daily, deliberate, disciplined action. They do the boring work. They train when no one's clapping. They push through when the novelty wears off. That's how you build a life you're proud of. One disciplined day at a time. So here's the challenge. For the next 50 minutes, stop looking for inspiration. And just do one thing that moves your life forward. Doesn't matter what it is. Just make it count. Show up for yourself not because you feel like it, but because you've decided that your future is worth it. That's the shift. That's the moment you go from being a dreamer to being a doer. You don't need hype. You don't need to wait for motivation to knock on your door. You just need to take action, and then keep taking it, especially when it's hard. That's discipline, and once you start living with it, your whole life changes, not overnight, but eventually, inevitably, and powerfully. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, go through the motions, check the boxes, and go to bed, only to do it all over again the next day. There's no spark, no edge, no presence, and then they wonder why they feel stuck, why life feels flat, repetitive, or hollow. It's not because something's wrong with them. It's because they're not aware They're not awake to their own lives. Awareness is not some fluffy spiritual concept. It's the raw, powerful clarity of seeing things as they actually are. It's noticing your behavior in real time. It's hearing your inner dialogue and choosing not to believe every thought that races through your mind. It's catching the moment you're about to sabotage, and stopping yourself, not out of guilt, but out of deep self-respect. When you cultivate awareness, you start to realize just how much of your life is run by unconscious patterns. You begin to see how often you react instead of respond, how often you avoid instead of face, how often you choose comfort over growth, without even noticing. And that's the scariest part, how invisible it all becomes when you're not paying attention. But here's the power in awareness. It puts the steering wheel back in your hands. You stop living life as a passenger. You start becoming deliberate. You notice the moment your energy drops and ask yourself why. You catch the urge to scroll mindlessly and choose to stay with your discomfort instead. You feel the anger rise and pause before lashing out. That pause, that choice, that is everything. That's the beginning of change. You can't change what you won't see. And you can't see clearly when your mind is cluttered with noise, distraction, and unconscious programming. That's why awareness starts with silence, with stillness, with stepping back from the chaos long enough to ask, what's really going on here? Not the surface stuff. The real stuff, the fear, the story. The root, that's where transformation lies. Awareness is what lets you break the cycle. Let's say you're always procrastinating. You keep telling yourself you're lazy, that you're not disciplined enough. But with awareness, you pause long enough to realize, I'm not lazy. I'm scared. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared this thing I'm working on won't be good enough. So I put it off to protect myself. And suddenly, it's not about willpower anymore, it's about compassion and clarity, and now you can make a better choice because you understand yourself. That's the gift of awareness. It gives you your power back. When you're aware, you stop being a victim of your own patterns. You stop living in reactivity. You start choosing your response, and that's what creates your results. You want to feel more confident, become aware of the moments you shrink, the moments you stay quiet when you should speak up, the moments you defer to others even though your gut is screaming. Awareness makes those moments visible, and once they're visible, you can change them. You want to be more disciplined. Start noticing the exact second your brain tries to negotiate with you. That moment you think, I'll do it later, catch it, pause, observe it. That's your window. That's your chance to say no. I see what's happening here, and I'm choosing differently. Without awareness, you're just repeating old code. You're stuck in loops written years ago. By trauma, by upbringing, by failure, by fear. But the moment you bring awareness in, those loops start to dissolve. You don't need to fight them. You just need to see them. Fully, without judgment, without panic, just presence, and it's not easy. Awareness isn't comfortable. It asks you to look at the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid, the parts that hurt, the patterns that keep costing you opportunities, relationships, peace. But the beauty is, awareness doesn't blame you, it frees you. It says, you didn't know, but now you do. So what are you going to do with it? Awareness gives you choice, and choice is where your power lies. You can choose to keep avoiding, or you can choose to engage, to respond with intention, to notice your old script and write a new one. That's the process, that's the real work, and it starts with paying attention. Start asking yourself better questions. What am I feeling right now? Why did I react that way? What am I avoiding? What story am I telling myself about this moment? And most importantly, asterisk, is that story even true? Asterisk, you don't have to overhaul your entire life in one day. You just need to start noticing it. Start paying attention to what drains you, what fuels you, what triggers you, what patterns keep repeating. Because your results in life aren't random. They're coming from somewhere, and when you become aware of that somewhere, you can begin to change it. The next time you're about to scroll, binge, react, lash out, give up, or numb out, pause. Get curious. Ask asterisk, what am I really feeling right now? Asterisk, that tiny act of awareness could save you hours, weeks, years of living in a loop. That's how powerful it is. And once you practice awareness long enough, it becomes your superpower. You start catching thoughts before they spiral. You start shifting behaviors before they sabotage. You start navigating life with a level of clarity and calm that most people never experience, because they never slow down long enough to become aware. So slow down, breathe, notice. Your life is trying to talk to you. Your body is giving you clues. Your heart already knows what's right. You just have to stop and listen, because the moment you become aware is the moment you take your power back, for good. Every time you choose to show up, especially when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you are becoming stronger than your excuses. That's the truth nobody talks about. We glorify comfort, ease, and effortlessness, but real power comes from doing the hard things repeatedly. Power is built in the moments when it's easier to quit, but you don't. When it's easier to stay in bed, but you get up. When no one would blame you for giving in, but you stand tall and push forward anyway. You don't need perfect conditions to grow. You need pressure. You need resistance. That tension, that struggle, that's what builds muscle. Not just in your body, but in your character, your resilience, your identity. Every challenge is training. Every moment of discomfort is shaping a stronger version of you. The more often you face the hard stuff, the more capable you become. Not just physically or mentally, but emotionally. Spiritually, you start building grit. Grit isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop every single time you decide not to shrink. It's built in the repetition of hard choices. Over time, those choices compound. And one day, you wake up and realize that the things that used to break you don't even shake you anymore. Doing hard things trains your nervous system to stay calm under pressure. It teaches you to separate fact from feeling. You may feel tired, you may feel scared, you may feel unsure, but the facts are, you've done hard things before and you're still standing. You've survived 100% of your hardest days. You've gotten through pain, heartbreak, disappointment, rejection, and you're still here. Still breathing, still capable. When you choose the path of growth, not comfort, you're telling yourself, I believe in who I'm becoming more than I believe in who I am right now. That belief is everything. That belief is what keeps you in the gym, in the conversation, in the work, even when it's messy, especially when it's messy, because the mess is where you grow. The mess is where you learn. Most people want the result without the resistance. They want strength without the strain, but that's not how this works. You don't become confident by waiting. You become confident by showing up, failing, adjusting, and repeating, again and again. Confidence comes from evidence. Evidence that you can do the hard things, that you can keep going when it's not fun or inspiring or glamorous. There will be days when everything in you wants to quit, when your mind tells you it's not worth it. When your progress feels invisible, when the climb feels endless, and that's the exact moment where greatness is built, not when things are going well, but when they're not, and you keep going anyway. That's the moment that separates the people who wish for change from the people who create it. Doing hard things isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving it to yourself, that you're not defined by your limits, that you are stronger than your excuses, that the voice inside you that says keep going is louder than the one that says give up. Every time you push through, you reinforce that truth, and eventually it becomes who you are. You stop saying I can't. You start saying I will, not because it's easy, but because you've trained yourself to do the hard things even when no one's watching, especially then. That's what builds integrity. That's what builds self-respect. That's what builds an identity rooted in action, not just intention. You don't have to take massive leaps to become powerful. You just have to keep taking small steps in hard moments. That's it, one hard thing a day, one more rep, one more page, one more conversation, one more step outside your comfort zone. It adds up, it compounds, it creates momentum, and once you feel that momentum, once you feel the shift from I can't to I did, you become unstoppable. Because now you know what you're capable of. You've seen yourself rise. You've earned that self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of every meaningful transformation. Start telling yourself the truth. You're not fragile. You're not broken. You're not helpless. You've just been playing small to avoid the discomfort of growth. But playing small won't protect you. It will only suffocate you, and deep down you know it. So stop waiting for things to get easier. They won't. You'll just get stronger. And that's the whole point. The goal isn't a life without struggle. The goal is to become someone who can handle the struggle and keep moving forward with grit, grace, and grit again. The question isn't, can you do this? Of course you can. The real question is, will you choose to do it even when it's hard? Because that choice, made repeatedly, is what separates the people who survive life from the people who own it. You want to change your life? Start by changing your relationship with difficulty. Stop resenting it. Start embracing it. See it as the path to your next level, not the obstacle in your way, but the very thing that will unlock your strength. Doing hard things isn't punishment, it's preparation for the life you want, for the person you're becoming, for the strength that's already in you, waiting to be unleashed. So go do the hard thing again and again, until it becomes who you are, because that asterisk is how you build a life you're proud of, one hard decision at a time. Your identity is not fixed. It's not something you're born with and stuck with. Your identity is something you build day by day, choice by choice, action by action. And the most powerful way to reshape your identity is to act in alignment with the person you want to become, even before you feel like that person. That's how you build the discipline to keep showing up, even when motivation is gone. Most people are waiting to feel like it before they do it. They think, when I feel confident, I'll speak up. Or when I feel ready, I'll take the leap. But life doesn't work that way. The feeling you're waiting for is a byproduct of action. Confidence, readiness, clarity, they're built after you move, not before. You don't become a disciplined person by thinking about discipline. You become disciplined by doing the thing consistently, whether you feel like it or not. The truth is, the way you act teaches your brain who you are. Every time you show up, take the hard step, or push past resistance, your brain gets the message. This is who I am now. You're training your nervous system. You're rewiring your self-image. It's not about perfection. It's about repetition. You are what you do repeatedly. So if you want to become someone who wins, who grows, who lives with purpose, start acting like that person now, even if it feels uncomfortable. Identity-based habits are the most powerful kind. You don't just go to the gym. You are someone who trains. You don't just write. You are a writer. You don't just manage your time. You are someone who protects your energy like it's sacred. Because it is. When your habits match the identity of the person you're becoming, everything changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop needing to justify or explain your goals to others. You simply are that person now. And let me tell you, there will be moments when that shift feels awkward. When your old identity tries to pull you back. When your environment or people around you challenge the new version of you. That's okay. That's expected. Growth always triggers resistance. But the more you stay committed to the identity you're stepping into, the more natural it begins to feel. It starts small. You set a boundary you used to avoid. You wake up on time even when it's tempting to sleep in. You finish the workout, the project, the conversation. You do what's necessary even when it's uncomfortable. That is where transformation lives. Not in the highlight reel, not in some massive life overhaul, but in the daily choices you make when no one is watching. Because that's when identity is really built. In the moments of silence, solitude, and self-discipline. Think about the identity you want not the one shaped by fear, insecurity, or past failures, but the one fueled by vision, purpose, and growth. That version of you already exists inside you. You just have to stop betraying them with actions that keep you stuck. You have to start aligning your behavior with your future, not your history. You want to feel like a leader, then lead even when it's uncomfortable. You want to feel like a powerful woman or man, then own your time, your energy, and your decisions like your life depends on it. Because it does. You want to feel like someone who follows through, then stop breaking promises to yourself. That's how you rebuild trust with yourself, one decision at a time. Don't underestimate the power of a single aligned action. That one early morning you show up anyway. That one task you complete instead of procrastinate. That one honest conversation you have when you're tempted to avoid it. That's how you start stacking evidence that you are already becoming that version of yourself. And the more evidence you collect, the more your brain believes it, the more naturally you show up as that person. Eventually, the discipline you forced becomes the standard you live by. It becomes second nature. It becomes part of your DNA, and that's when momentum kicks in. That's when you stop doubting your power and start owning it, because you've earned it, you've built it, one hard, aligned action at a time. Let me say this loud and clear, you don't need anyone else's permission to reinvent yourself. You don't need the right timing, the right circumstances, or the right support. You just need to decide right now that your future identity matters more than your current comfort, that your vision matters more than your excuses, that your discipline matters more than your feelings in the moment. This isn't about being robotic. It's about being committed. It's about honoring your future self enough to make the present moment count. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you vote for the life you actually want. Every time you say yes to growth and no to comfort, you rise into a version of yourself that's more powerful, more aligned, and more unstoppable. So, stop waiting, stop overthinking, start acting like the person you want to become. Right now, not tomorrow, not when life slows down, not when it's easier, now. Because that's the secret. Who you are becoming is shaped by what you do today. And you are always one disciplined decision away from changing the rest of your life.